Alright, the topic here is quadratic functions and its applications. So here's an example. The average number of inmates in the Beaufort County Jail is modeled by y equals 0.161x squared plus 7.582x plus 82.1157. X is the number of years after 1991. Alright. Okay, for question 1, we want to know if this parabola is facing up or down. And to know if the parabola is facing up or down, we always just check the a, the coefficient of x squared. Since the coefficient of x squared is a is equal to 0.161 is positive. When it's positive, it's going to face up. If it's negative, it's going to face down. So in this case, the parabola is facing up just because a is positive, coefficient of x squared. In what year, question B, in what year the average number of inmates in Beaufort County Jail was minimum? And so we're looking for x, and then once we find x, then we'll be able to find the year, because we know the year is just a number of years after 1991. So how do we find the x? The question is asking for the x coordinates of the vertex. So the x coordinate for the vertex, by definition, is always going to be equal minus b over 2a. So every time we talk about minimum or maximum, the x coordinates are always going to be minus b over 2a, just by definition. So negative b, here's a b right here. So negative b divided by 2, and then a is right here, 2 times 0.161. Don't forget the parentheses here. And if you do that, you're supposed to get 23.54. Now, since x is equal to 23.54, this is the number of years after 1991. So the year will be 1991 plus 23.54, which is going to be, the year will just be 2014. I mean 0.54, but 0.54 only tells us about what month. So it's the year 2014. Now for question C, what is the minimum average number of inmates in that year? So they're asking us to find the y coordinate of the vertex. So all you do is just take this x that we found, 23.54, and plug it in. So y is equal 0.161 times 23.54 squared plus 7.582 times 23.54 plus 82.157, and just use your calculator. If you do that, you get 349.85 inmates, which is about 350 inmates. Now for question D, what was the average number of inmates in the year 2000? Now the year 2000 means that x is equal what? X is the number of years after 1991. So 1991 means x equals 0. So 2000 means how many years after 1991? It just means 2000 minus 1991, which is 19. Yep. So x is equal 19. All we need to do is just plug it in. So the y value, that would give us the average number of inmates. Just plug in 19 is 0.161 times 19 squared plus 7.582 times 19 plus 82.157, which is equal to 284.33 inmates, which is about 284 inmates. Yep. Now for question E, in what year the average number of inmates was 300? So the y is given, y is 300 inmates. We need to look for x, and then once we find the x, we can find the year. Alright, so the y is what? 0.161 x squared plus 7.582x plus 82.157. This is the y value, and it's equal to 300. And we need to solve for x. For us to use quadratic, this is quadratic equation. For us to use quadratic formula, we need to have a 0 on the right side. Therefore, we need to subtract 300 from both sides. If we do that, we get 0.161x squared plus 7.582x. 82.157 minus 300, it will give us minus 217.84. Now, using quadratic formula, x is equal to minus b, minus or plus square root. B squared is 7.582 squared minus 4 times A times C. A is 0.161. C is negative 217.84. And then everything over 2 times A, which is 0.161. Now x is equal minus 7.582 minus plus. So if we square this, we'll get 57.47, and then minus times another negative is plus, so it's plus 561.15 square root everything divided by 0.33. Now we need to add those numbers inside. Minus 7.582 minus plus square root. If we add the number inside the radical, we get 618.62. Now we need to do the square root. Square root of 618 is 24.87. Now x is equal, we're going to get two x's. X is equal to minus 7.582 minus 24.87 over 0.33. And then the other x is the plus one, negative 7.58 plus 24.87 over 0.33. Use the parentheses if you're going to use a calculator. The negative 1 for the plus 1 will be 52.39. This is 52.39, and the minus 1 it's going to be negative 98.60, So this we're gonna throw away. We don't want x to be negative. We're just looking for numbers after 1970. So we are only gonna use this. So x is equal 52.39 means the year. All we need to do add 1991. 1991 plus 52.39. So that would be 2043. I mean 2043.39, but it's just the year is 2043. And that's it for this problem.